presenter. And somewhere in my presentation, I said, fuck. I'm like, great. Now I'm going to be the guy that said fuck in his presentation. And then Mike came after me. I was like, nah, I'm good. Never mind. And then
there was Nicole.
And then there was Nicole, who like made Mike look like a church boy.
Yeah. Nicole was 247. I think she did. Yeah, it's crazy. There's people in the back of the room counting. My son Skylar was. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, I love Mike. Mike's got some great, crazy good stuff for GMBs or GBPs, whatever Google's calling it now.
And just a very entertaining presenter as well.
100%, very entertaining, great to network with.
Yeah.
He's got a heart of gold. He'll bend over backwards for you. Yeah. Randy Rohde, another one of my.
I think you skipped one.
Yeah, me. So, I was so thankful that you even asked me to speak. Again, because a lot of people have heard Elisabeth and I talk about this. This year, we're specifically on a growth pattern for Solterra. So I specifically am not speaking at, last year I spoke at 13 events. This year, I'm probably only going to speak at 6, I think 7. So we're really being particularly, where we want to go as far as, the event and the people that are putting on the event, but then also who all is going to be there and that stuff like that. So I was just super grateful that you asked me to speak. I'm going to be going over on page and schema in 2024, which I think if you're not doing really good on page right now, I think you're just going to get walked over. So yeah, I mean, thank you for inviting me. We're so looking forward to it. Randy Rohde, 38 Digital, one of our favorite people. I've known Randy for years. We do a lot of stuff with Randy. Elisabeth does a lot of stuff with Randy. So great guy. Another one that's just got a heart of gold. He'll give you the shirt off his back. Don't ask him because he looks weird without a shirt. But but looking forward to Randy. It's going to be awesome. So and we got Brock, Mr. Brock. So Brock is he's an incredible guy. One of these that I love, that Brock taught. I think I've known Brock 4 years now, I think. But one of the things I love what he teaches is he teaches how to manipulate strings, and which are URLs if you want to go that way. It's one of the funnest things that we love doing in schema. And matter of fact, during my schema course, I taught about, taking a URL from Google, whether it be machine ID or whatever, and manipulating that string for whatever term you're going after for that page or blog or whatever. So, but Brock's awesome. He's a great guy. Hopefully he's bringing his wife. She's also just an incredible human being. They definitely spoke at all of our events, and, we love having them there, and, it's good to see Brock again for sure. Yeah. Any good stories about Brock? I know you went to their event at SEO on the beach. We couldn't go to that one. It was just bad timing.
The one I actually think of when I think of Brock is from the previous event that I went to that he was at, and they were giving out these like championship belts for like contests or something they did. He just randomly picked them up before and just started walking around with them like he was the champion, just taking pictures with them and stuff. And he's a large person, so he looked like a professional wrestler, and it was just kind of cool. And then I did a live stream with them, him and Mike, because they're like partners in some capacity. And like before their event, and like the thumbnail I got was the two of them with the championship belts on the side of me and the person. So that's what I always think of that. And his name is Brock Misner, which is very close to a professional wrestler named Brock Lesnar. So it always makes me think of that. So
that's awesome. Yeah, he's the first time I met Brock, they came to our
New Orleans.
I guess it was even in our New Orleans event, our mastermind. Him and Mike came, and it was pretty cool. It was just a great great guy, veteran, which I've got a heart for veterans, of course.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you were. I didn't know he was.
Yeah, he was too. So and we got to share some pretty good stories, and we had fun in New Orleans, obviously. James Slattery, man, James, he's probably one of the most coolest people in this industry that's kind of behind the scenes. He does some really awesome stuff
Mhm.
I'm really looking every time I meet him, every time I see him, he does something different or doing something different. That's just incredible. So he's have you met James before?
Yeah, I met him. I mean, I've known him through Facebook for years, but I
Mhm.
met him at SEO at the beach as well, where he was a
Yeah,
presenter at the same time.
true. Yep.
So,
Yeah, he's awesome. And then Rabbit Ricks,
Robbie Rizik.
Robbie. Um, it's funny too. He's actually one of my oldest Facebook friends from this industry, and we've never met in person. So one of the things I'm really looking forward to, he does some cool stuff with maps.
Yeah.
Does some, I guess he's doing some really good AI stuff I was reading
Mm-hmm.
earlier. So I'm looking forward definitely to. So how did you meet him? Is he on? Is he a vendor on Legit?
Yeah, he's been there since day one, actually, and that's how I
Oh
met
yeah,
him.
actually, yeah. That's actually where I met him from. Now that I
All right.
think about
Yeah.
it. So
What you
um,
said there is interesting too. Is like that's one of the things I've gotten from these events is there's people I've known for
mhm.
years that I've literally never seen bigger than their Facebook profile
Yeah.
picture that you meet in person. It's just a whole different thing. So like
For
Eldar,
sure.
I'd known him a little bit through Facebook, but I didn't really like know him. And now he's
Mhm.
like the person I spend the most time with at these events because you tend to like migrate to a couple people, and it's just interesting how that works.
For sure, and the networking at these events is where you meet people, and
Mhm.
I mean, I've got stories obviously from all of our events of people that became partners, and just, I mean, there's just some really cool things that can happen, especially if you're struggling with one area or another, or if
Yeah.
you're on, if you do want to start a SaaS product or whatever, there's all kinds of people that that have done that, and they can kind of tell you yes, no, or indifferent. But yeah, it's a great freaking time. So looking forward definitely to meeting him. Kira. So who is Kira?
So I do a lot of interviews on my channel, and I did one with Mad Singers. He was a
Mhm.
speaker to them, and I asked, does anybody know anybody else they'd like to see? And that's one of the people he recommended was her. So we talked, and she eventually came on, and she did an incredible presentation that was way over my head on international SEO, which she's just really well with. She works with some really high end like car businesses and things like that. And literally, this was one of the two people on this list that was by popular demand. Like during that stream, I was getting messages from people asking me to have her come speak at the event because she was so impressed
Awesome.
with it. So, and again, it's somebody that maybe not a lot of people know of. So I wanted to get her to come, and she's coming from the UK actually.
Right on. Yeah, no, it's I'm looking forward to meeting her. There's it's we don't I mean I don't say international SEO. I mean, I've got clients in New Zealand and Australia, but they're local businesses. So
Right.
I've always been curious about the international side, especially when you get into affiliates and some of the stuff we're doing there.
Yeah,
It's
I
good
was
to meet.
mind blown with some of the stuff she said. And I don't use that term lightly because I think it gets overused.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
it was way over my head. Like I'm not ashamed to admit that. Like I've never
Mhm.
done the international clients I have are like yours. Like technically they're international, but it's like a local business to Australia, but not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get American business to Australia or something like that.
For sure, 100%. And that's I
I
mean,
don't want
it's
to be honest.
yeah, I mean, you definitely brought out the speakers for sure. And then of course Brian Cato, the master magician of sheets and pretty much anything Brian wants to do.
He was the other one that was by popular demand. I did a stream with him, and people were telling me I needed to get him to come speak too. Not that I wasn't
Yeah,
going to ask him anyway, but
yeah, he's an incredible guy. And again, another one with a heart of gold.
yeah.
We actually, a lot of people might not know, but when at the first day of SEO spring training, we got attacked from all kinds of things at 7:00 in the morning on the first day. Website was down, our live stream was down, everything. And so Brian and Elisabeth just stepped in right then, and I don't know how many hours they worked on it, but that's the kind of guy he is. He just freaking, he's right there. He'll step in, and just, help you. And so I'm not sure what he's going to speak on this time, but he's always the guy that I reach out to. Anything Google Sheets, Docs, all the different tools that Google has. Because he's
I
got
didn't
some.
know that story about you guys getting attacked, but I am certainly not surprised.
Yeah.
Literally anytime that we do anything big, somebody comes for us. So
Oh, and it was crazy, you know, and SEO University was attacked. You know, I launched my schema course 2 weeks ago, and sure enough, freaking somebody attacked me, you know, or attacked that university site. And, Brian,
it's why I don't do public case studies anymore, because literally 100% of every website I've ever shown in public has either been hacked, negative SEO, or stolen, like cloned or whatever.
Sure.
Every course I've ever put out has been stolen. I don't even care anymore. I think the only way to to make a course and not have it get stolen is to make something that's so terrible that nobody wants to steal
it. That's for sure.
And
yeah, I just took on a new consulting client, and they do courses, and it's funny too, because their courses are all out there on the internet. They're not even trying to secure it. And I'm like, I don't know if you guys wanted this out there. So we have an interesting conversation tomorrow of all the stuff I found. So, but well, cool. Well, what else about the event? I mean, what do you think is going to be? You know, tell us about the VIP day. What's happening?
Before we do that, there may be one or two more speakers still.
Okay.
People are still trying to get their schedules.
Okay, cool.
I don't get it personally. Like, I know mine, you know, a year in advance. But anyway,
yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry. So, what was your question?
Tell us a little bit about the VIP day.
It's right now. It's going to be just a party at Dave and Buster's, where we're going to get a bunch, which is at a place called Broadway at the Beach here, which is like takes up about 4 city blocks. It's like shopping, nightlife, restaurant center, and then Dave and Buster's. It'll be kind of like the thing you did. It wasn't at Dave and Buster's, but the bowling place that you had us.
Mavericks.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar to that event. You know, free food, free tokens, free hanging out, networking.
Fun.
Yeah. And that, like I say, that is at a place called Broadway at the Beach, so you can go do other stuff while you're there too. We should probably put that on the site, but it's a lot of fun.
I think people underestimate the VIP stuff because, yeah, okay, you're having fun and it's great, but those conversations that you have kind of behind the scenes, you know, Terry and I, when we first started, I think the first 7 years, we didn't know anybody in the industry. It was just us.
Yeah.
And then once we started meeting people, I think it made a huge difference for us as far as, you know, you can always increase your skill set. You can be, you know, better at your job. You can learn more things, but your connections are gold. Like I can refer people because I know them personally. I've met them at events, you know, and I know their integrity.
Yeah. There's also been people that I didn't necessarily like through social media that I've met in person that are much more personable than I had expected. So, you know, that's worth noting too.
Terry can comment on that.
I'm not going to name any names or anything, but
yeah.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, there's, you know, there's people in there that, you know, and like Elisabeth said, we've gone to personal things with these people that we've met through this business, and which that's, you know, that's always really cool. And you can, you know, plan things. You know, we had Gear and Green planned like 10 guys in a room in Vegas. And it was all just about tech stuff. And it was one of the coolest events we went to, you know, that year. So, but there's all kinds of things depending on where you're at. I'm obviously a big believer in events. It changed our business. It continues to change our business. We went to the Gatlinburg event last week, and it literally was, you know, oh shit. And we've been doing this for 13 years now, I think. And so we're still seeing new things to do on, you know, what we might be able to do better. You know, these events are just gold. And so when you go to these things, you know, I try to tell people, you know, have a goal, have a reason. You know, are you struggling with one thing or another? Do you want to specifically meet and spend time with one person?
Right.
You know, and don't be scared. So don't think these people are unapproachable, because they're, you know, at least most of them aren't. You know, obviously you're going to run into people at events that, you know, speak and then get in their car and leave type of people, but that's not this group. You know, this group is a group that, you know, you can walk up and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you give me some pointers or stuff like that? You know, and that's where the gold comes from. Obviously the stage is one thing, and you definitely will have a notebook full of stuff that you want to implement. But now it's time to go ahead and see, you know, hey, I need to know a little bit more about this area, you know, especially the paid ads part. I mean, I meet SEOs all the time that say, oh, I don't want to do paid ads. And I'm like, well, I hate to say it, but somebody's going to end up doing paid ads for that client, and they're probably going to take the SEO. So Because paid ads.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was just saying the paid ads is the way that you get leads the quickest.
Yeah. Andrew is absolutely brilliant at that. He's the most creative person I've ever met too. I don't know if you saw the commercial we made a couple months ago, but he was responsible for that too. So
yeah, which is awesome. So again, you got to be more than just the SEO for your clients nowadays. You know, so
well, you need to be doing it for yourself too. Like I think that's
sure. Yeah, 100%.
A lot of SEOs are terrified to like turn on.
Yeah, which we haven't done good at. We've done ads and they failed, and I know my copy wasn't good. Elisabeth and I have done, email marketing that, has failed, all this stuff. And this is where we're now learning, geez, well, we did this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. And, and then you meet people like Andrew and the other people out there that are they're kicking ass with it. And you're like, okay, well, if they can do it, we can do it type of thing.
Like what you're doing right now is something that 99% of the industry is terrified to do. No matter how long I've been screaming, you can reach, it's kind of contradictory to what we're talking about today, but an event, you might reach couple hundred people. You can turn your camera on and potentially reach millions of people, but most SEOs are terrified to do it. So,
oh, for sure. We've been wanting to do this podcast for years, and we just finally said, we're done. We're doing it. So, and we're still not to where we want to be yet. I have a whole bunch of equipment. We're just in separate offices, but I love the value it brings. I love yours is one of the best podcasts out there.
Thank you.
And it's just, but that's where you start meeting people and learning people and say, oh, wow, I'd like to go see this guy somewhere, and start following him. One of the things that I'm surprised about is not many people follow people, especially on Facebook, because it's one of the coolest things that, you can just follow them instead of getting a friend request. Yep. And just follow what they're talking about, follow what they're doing,
For a long time, I considered Facebook to be like the office, because like you can meet people and network people and get as close to as you can to that bumping into somebody in the hallway effect that you can't get remotely. So
for sure.
Well, in our industry, so many of us are introverts, I get it. We're shy. We don't really go up to people. Like Terry can go to a huge event and he will not go up and introduce himself, but he'll sit in the corner, and before you know it, there's a crowd around him. He has a lot of value, a lot to share, but he's not going to go out there and push it on people. So, I know you said you're terribly shy and you were really nervous before speaking at the event, but you freaking killed it, And I even had people say that they came to the event specifically because you were speaking, because you don't speak. So, Terry and I are always about creating value, creating opportunities, and connecting people.
Yeah. And you kind of have to be. If you're just in this for a money grab, people are going to catch that really quick.
Yeah.
People are smart. They're savvy. They can see.
Yeah. We went to learn ChatGPT in a weekend in Orlando. And
because I saw you comment on an ad about that.
Every single speaker was like half an hour upsell. I mean, it was just like, oh, yeah,
I went to a digital marketer event, and I hate to like name names, but I went to a digital marketer event like 2 years ago, and they're pretty big name in our industry, and the whole thing was just an in-person webinar to sell you a $40,000 a year program, and then they had like an upsell on that, even where they had $100,000 a year program.
Well, if it's of value and if it gives you something that you can actually use and integrate and help scale your business, then yeah, I can see that. But this one particular event Terry's talking about, it was not of the value that we would invest in. Is that like the most polite and political way to say it?
Yeah, I laughed because I saw a Facebook ad for that event and Terry commented on it and said how garbage it was.
Oh yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, oh my gosh, really? And it's funny too, because one of the guys there that spoke is actually a friend of mine on Facebook, and he private messaged me and goes, yeah, it was everybody upsell. And I said, yeah, you were the worst, because he spoke both days. But he didn't unfriend me. So, but yeah, it's and and I've seen people comment on other people, in Signals Lab or whatever about going to events that it's all just an upsell. And I say BS, I mean, the events that, we put on, you put on, rock stars, SEO on the beach. These are not rich people trying to upsell you to get more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These are just people that have a heart of gold. They want to share. They want to meet new people. They want to help. And that, I think that is just gold. And yeah, we've all been to events like that, but I can tell you the events that I'm involved with. But I wouldn't be involved with the one that was an upsell because I'd feel uncomfortable. It would just,
that's not your personality.
Yeah,
exactly. So
I purposely didn't want ours to be that way. Now, frankly, it is branded and,
for
there's
sure,
a level of commercial to it, but I'm not going to at the end say, and if you wanted more, then, in fact, I'm going to go, if you don't mind, I'm going to talk about, we're actually unveiling like a new technology that we're building into the site. And I really can't give much detail on, but everybody that's there is going to get that for free, like as opposed to an upsell. So that's one of the big hooks for it. And I just haven't found a good way to really sell the event on that because I can't give out any details on it because some little Portuguese fucker will copy it. And, but that's going to be unveiled at the event, and everybody that comes to the event will get that months ahead of everybody else. So
yeah,
my point to that story is, one, I wanted to promote my event, but also two, that it's not just there to sell you stuff. Like I would be better financially. I'd be better focused not doing this. Like I would be better
100%
focused on.
We can validate.
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt. I mean, it's just like I said, if you put on these events and think you're gonna make $1 million, well, good luck. So there's too many different variables. Elisabeth and I and the people that we surround ourselves with are all about value. It's not all about the mighty dollar. And and there's a lot of conferences right now. There's a lot of events, and so I tell people, look and see who's there. What do you currently, whether you're struggling or maybe you want to learn something new or different. We went to TNC, and traffic and conversions really wasn't anything that I went there to kind of learn, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to see one lady that was doing some stuff with Pinterest. And, because I guess Pinterest is the social media platform that is just kind of accepting everything. There's it's the old Wild West. And from what I understand from what she taught, it was pretty cool. But it was also an event that was so big, I didn't get a chance to talk to her. I mean, there was 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah, that's why I never went to that one.
People there. So even though I got to see her talk, I tried to friend her on Facebook, and of course it's pending forever.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because we kind of saw how the bigger events are put on. How the security was pretty friggin' crazy. How people were sneaking in. Holly got caught. Sorry, Holly. But yeah, it was. But go to events that you want to go to. For whether it be for the people, whether it be for the content, whether it be for maybe you're getting really good, deep into AI. So there's some people out there that are doing some pretty crazy stuff. But I'm super excited about Legiit Live, mainly just because of the fact that I do get to meet people that I haven't seen before. And especially ones that are doing stuff that I think we should be doing or even doing better at, like paid ads. So for our agency. So it's amazing. We do pretty good for our clients, but I haven't done very good for our agency.
That's pretty common. So
yeah, and for sure, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's the, internet marketing side or whatever, but it's definitely something we need to get better at.
Yeah.
So, well, cool. So any last minute things about Legiit Live? There's a coupon code there, so save 35% off.
I don't think we talked about the the specific packages.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about the specific packages.
Would it be all right if I shared my screen?
Of course.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I find it easier with a
visual. 100%.
A visual.
Yeah. So I think you have to add it to the stage.
Add it to the stage.
Yeah, if you mouse over it's in
mouse over the present.
Yep, and then click add to the stage or whatever it says.
Doesn't say that.
Okay. There's the one with me, and then there's the one with the screen. If you mouse.
Oh, there. Okay, there it is. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Terry's one of the least techie peoples I know.
I am. I mean, I can rank anything, anywhere, anytime, but I can't figure out the basic stuff.
I'm the same way. Like I said, people say, "Did you code legit?" I was like, "No, I can make it and say hello world." I'm just going to start from the top if that's okay.
Perfect.
This is the event site. It's legitlive.com. We thought about the name for it for 2 weeks and then decided to just not get clever with it and just call it what it is. The dates are September 13th, which is a Friday for those of you that are superstitious. That will be the VIP event, which the details of are not on here yet. But they should be soon. And then the 14th and 15th. This is the agenda. I'm not going to walk you through every step of it, but I've laid it out. So far, almost everybody has been unhappy with their time slot. So that's still pending. I'm sure you have some experience with those kinds
yeah,
of
they don't get to move. It's my decision and my decision.
Good. See, that's valuable for me to know. But lunch and refreshments will be provided all throughout the day. We've been asked that a lot. Not a question I was anticipating, so we added that to it. The speakers are me. That's a terrible picture, but it is what it is. Jim is our co-founder. We got Gregory Ortiz, Andrew Moles. We already covered all these, but I want to just go through it real quick. Eldar Cohen, he's coming all the way from Israel. Navneet, who's coming from India. We got Brian, Michael, this guy, whoever he is.
I like that guy.
Oh, really? That's impressive after married.
22 years, 5 kids. I still like him. He's a great guy.
Good for you. I would have to get married 22 times to have that kind of streak. But yeah, Randy and Brock, James, Robbie, Kira, and Brian. And I can't promise there will be anybody beyond this, but I'm still working on it because anyway, we'll come back to the packages in a minute. These are some of our sponsors. I wanted to shout those out really quick. This is my agency and Jim's agency, and then Local Dominator, which is Eldar's software, and Map Pack Toolbox, which is Robbie's software, and SERP Trust, who just came in today. And if I'm being honest, I don't really know what they do, but I know the name. They're a seller on Legit, but I don't know what their agency does. This is the hotel. This is Island Vista Resort. If you're going to book this, either book it through the website or call them. Make sure, and they made this a little more complicated than it needed to be, in my opinion. But mention Legit SEO conference block 285661. Apparently, you have to say all of that, or they won't know where to put you. But you'll get a little bit of a discount, and frankly, it helps us cover our costs a little bit. So please, if you're going to come, go there. There's a limited number of rooms though, so get them as soon as you can. It's a great hotel. It's right on the beach. I specifically wanted to make sure that there's tens of thousands of hotels here, and I wanted to make sure we got one that was right on the beach because it's the beach. What's the point of not being on the beach if you're at the beach? It's a beautiful place, stands out, so it's nice. It's close to the venue. Takes about a 3 to 5 minute Uber, depending on traffic and stuff. The event is at Pine Lakes Country Club, which is a golf course. It'll be in this building right here. There's a nice ballroom there. It's one of the oldest golf courses in Myrtle Beach, if not the oldest. I'm pretty sure it is. It's really, really nice. And like I say, I have a personal connection to it too, that I'm going to talk about there. Entertainment. Like I said, Myrtle Beach has a year-round population of 30,000 and gets 14 million tourists a year. So that tells you that there's lots of reasons to come here. I've lived here all my life, so I didn't really know what to tell people to do because it's all like that shit's always been there my whole life. So I just, whatever. But there's water sports, golf, shopping, entertainment, pretty much it's basically Disney without Disney World. So there's a lot to do here. It'll be a lot of fun. If you have the time, I suggest making a vacation out of it as well. And then the specific packages, we have 2. Let me zoom back out so they'll be on the screen. We have the executive package, which is like the standard package. I just wanted to have a cool name for it. And that is $497. And that gets you into the event on Saturday and Sunday, which is the 14th and 15th. And it's not on here, but I told you that we're going to be unveiling a new technology that will be integrated into Legit and be a big part of the platform. Everybody's going to get that. It's not listed here, but everybody's going to get that. So you'll get access to the event as well as that added to your Legit account by the time you get home. And then if you want to do the VIP, which I think is a much better deal, you get access to the event and to the Dave and Buster's party that I talked about a little while ago. You're going to get lifetime access to the Legit dashboard, which the agency level, which is $97 a month. So, that kind of pays for your ticket right there.
Wow.
Preferred seating. This is something I learned from SEO at the beach. I was going to do front row seating for VIPs, but I thought, some people want to sit in the back. So what we're going to do is give you like a little card and you can just put that and the seat's reserved for that person. So you can kind of sit wherever you want. And And then that will include an event recording, which everybody else is going to have to pay for. So that is $9.97. It's pretty straightforward. You just click purchase now. Hopefully my credit card information is not in here.
Mhm.
I'm always worried about that when I go to a payment page, that it's going to like autofill. And you just, standard checkout page. If you want to use a coupon code, and it's Solterra, assuming you're watching through this stream, and that'll get you 35% off. So, I think this is incredibly affordable. If I would do it for even less, but obviously this is incredibly expensive to plan and to do, but I think that's, if I break even, I'll be very surprised. And I tried to price it that way because I didn't want the cost of the ticket to be the reason that somebody doesn't come. I understand you have to get a hotel, you have to travel, and that stuff is costly and expensive. So I wanted this to not be the barrier to keep someone that wanted to go from going. If you need something other than like this, will take you to like a Stripe checkout. If for some reason you need a PayPal or something like that, you can actually buy it right through Legiit as well. And if you do, just make sure you tell me you came through Solterra, and I'll make sure that they get credit for that. But
yeah, and I'll bump it up one more. If you use the Solterra coupon code, I'll pick one person at the event and give them a free seat to my next on-page class.
That's crazy! I didn't even know you were going to do that. So awesome. Yeah. So
if anybody that uses the code, I'll get the list from Chris when we get there, and then we'll randomly pick somebody to be in the next on-page, or not the next. I'm starting the next one next week, but next an on-page class is coming up. So.
Yeah, and as far as the pricing, the early bird pricing that you see there will last, I think, about another week or so. It was supposed to end at the end of July, but I went on vacation and didn't really promote as much as I did, so as I wanted to, and so I extended that a little bit to give people a chance to get in as cheaply as, I don't want to say cheaply, as inexpensively as possible. So, it's going to probably double basically because we'll run out of space, and I have to offset the cost somewhat. So. Get in now is kind of the point that I'm trying to make. So,
for sure.
And let me just make sure that the right link is on the screen there, because some people will just go directly to it. But use the coupon code. Either that way, for sure, we'll know that it came through Terry, because we appreciate them.
No problem.
Doing that. So, yeah, I don't know if there's any questions. I'd be happy to take them. But
if you guys have any questions, reach out to us or Chris or whatever. We'll get your questions answered. It is, what we call a destination event. So I agree. I think we're going to come in a couple days early because I definitely want to play golf. So yeah, I just it's I'm looking forward to the agenda's killer. I can't use the K word anymore. Sorry. The agenda's awesome. And so are the speakers. But reach out if you guys have any questions whatsoever at all. So it's one of the like I said, one of the few events that we're really doing a lot of promotion with. There's a handful that are coming up here starting this month. And so reach out to me if you can't make this event for some reason, maybe the dates don't work or whatever, and then we can kind of help you find the right event for you, obviously. So any last minute things, Elisabeth, at all? I'm
so excited. I know we're coming in a couple of days early. And so we'll definitely connect with people. I don't know, most everyone knows Terry and I make ourselves available at the events. So anybody can come up and chit chat and say hi, ask the questions, that kind of stuff. And really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. And that is a smoking deal. And you're right, that can't be a barrier for entry, because I don't see conference prices that low. So
yeah. And that makes me think I made a mistake. So I will, keep that in mind, folks. This may be the only chance to get to an event of ours. If we do this again, it probably will not be that cheap next year if we do this again, because lessons learned.
Yes.
Exactly. Yep. And it's yep. And if you do it a second year and a third year, it's you really start looking and say, okay, yeah, we need to do something different here.
Things have to evolve, as you get bigger and do it more. But, absolutely, while we're there, Chris, if you need anything, reach out. We're happy to support you and help in any way we can.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. Definitely let me know when you get here, and we'll see what we can do.
Yep.
Heck yeah. Maybe we'll go to dinner or something. So.
Yeah.
All right, Gary. So thank you, Chris, for joining us. It's been awesome. I love your marketplace. Can we call it a marketplace, I guess?
I prefer platform, but marketplace is fine.
Okay, yeah. I love your platform. And then obviously I'm looking for, I'm really glad you did an event because it gives me an excuse to come see, my friends, meet new people, and then go to Myrtle Beach. So.
When we chose the location, because we had a few options, one of the reasons I chose it was because of the connection I have to it, but I absolutely thought of you because I know that you had like a couple of years at your event, you would do like a golf thing beforehand. And I remember that when we chose that. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. It's fun. It's kind of my happy place. When I'm having a bad day, I'll go golfing.
Unless it's in the middle of the day, because it's too flipping hot.
Yeah. That's this time of year.
What's funny is I've lived here all my life and I've been golfing twice. And the last time was when I was 12.
Wow. That's crazy. So, but that's, we hear the same stories here. I think we're the second most populated golf place in the country after Myrtle Beach. But in the summertime, you got to be off the golf course by 9 o'clock or you're going to die.
Yeah.
So, but all right, Chris, well, thank you so much, my friend. And we look forward to seeing you here in a few weeks. If anybody out there, again, reach out to us if you have questions. If you need, help with anything, Elisabeth and I are just, reach out to us. This is our passion to help people. So we appreciate everybody being on. Thank you for all the great comments and looking forward to seeing you guys at Legiit Live.
Thank you. And if you need help, you can also use Legiit support. We have 24/7, so they can help you out too.
Exactly. All right, everybody. We'll see you in September. Thank you.